Kaboom! There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom!
Broadcasting live from Sub-Basement 27 in the heart of the Hypercube in Orlando, Florida. It's time for the show, your weekly Hypercube update. I'm Dr. Fox, your guide through a psychic mesh full of worms. Big, gooey worms. And we're going to just squeeze right into the middle of them because we got a very special show for you tonight. That's right. You asked for it. You did. It's Reverend Peas. Say hi, Peas.
Hello, it's me, the Peas. Oh, my picture's not coming up though. It's just a picture of you. That doesn't seem fair at all. I don't like that.
You don't get to see yourself. You don't get to look yourself in the eye as you do the show.
I have to choose between now going back over here where oh, there we go. It's much better. But now I won't be able to see the witty comments of all the
It's your
fans.
call. What are you going to do? You can either see yourself. You can either see yourself or you can see the hilarious Peas Nuts gallery that is in the chat.
No matter what I do, though, in the other channel, all they see is you, right? They just see you. When you're in Freethink Radio, freethinkradio.com, our great host of the great show that we do, and not only a show that we do, there's live entertainment on freethinkradio.com every night of the week for 28 hours of the day. Free, fresh content made for freaks and friends and foes and fellas and felines. All of that stuff. For you, there's targeted things.
And that's what this is. This is a very targeted, very specific demographic for time for the show. This is for the discerning individual. This is for those that know that they're ready for entertainment. Peas, the purpose of time for the show is to produce acoustic energy, specifically in the comedy range of sub-ether harmonics known as schmuck waves.
Science, sure.
Hypercube Labs is constantly at work mining away at the galactic blockchain. We utilize the global pylon array to do this. And psychoustic energy doesn't come cheap. And one of the most powerful that you can get is derived from comedy. And we put so much time and energy into it. Peas, could you believe that we even named a core element of Hypercube science after you?
What's it called?
That would be Peasium.
And what is the definition of Peasium?
Well, Peasium itself is
principle does it profound upon?
Well, when combined with the use of resonator pylons, these are specific pylons that not only relay information across the sub-ether network, but actually will pick that information up and generate psychoustic energy in the downstem antenna system. And you can actually charge...
And these are the only pylons that actually do that, right? And you can only purchase those pylons from us.
That is correct. Now, you can always construct a pylon. A core philosophy of the Hypercubist is you should always be constructing pylons. But we are in the process of manufacturing a desktop pylon. I guess it's time for Cube News. Yeah.
Spanning the globe from all four corners of the earth, it's time for the news.
I think there are 8 corners, but that's okay. We're still working on ideas for you, the consumer, and more is on the way. We actually have red, white, and blue Don't Think decals on the way. We still have the limited edition green Don't Think decals, including the road sign logo that looks awesome in green.
I I saw one of those on a Jeep that had an anti-fa flag on it. Is it anti-fa?
We're gonna,
or is it anti-fa?
I think
because I heard Trump goes interval.
It's like interval. It's those darn intervals. But we are also in the process of manufacturing PZM crystals, P's, and you'll be able to place your PZM crystal inside of your desktop resonator pylon, and every time that pylon is exposed to the latest episode of Time for the Show, you will actually harness psychoustic energy, which you will use to charge that PZM crystal, which will then help balance the luck plane, if not tilt it in your favor. You can carry it with you. You know, microbead condensers, Hypercube microbead condensers are not safe to open. They're capsules. You keep them in your pocket. These were a product that were quickly discontinued. People would open them up and they would eat the powder inside. Don't eat the powder inside. We had to print that on the box. But PZM crystals, they're just hard to swallow.
You can eat a little bit of it, but if you eat the whole amount, you're supposed to
taste it like a lady. Peas, you're on camera. Maybe you get to see this. You'll be one of the first few people to see these. We got the Cube Speak booklets in. You see that little guy?
No, Cube Speak.
Look at that. Isn't that classic?
It's very geometric.
One of these, and it's chock full of words and pictures.
It's very similar.
On every page, there are words and there are pictures. Even
when I joined the Masons, I got a little book like that so I could pass my first degree of masonry. Each degree of masonry, they gave you a little book like that so you get to delve into the inner secrets of the Illuminati.
And isn't that something?
Lodge masonry.
This pamphlet, this 8-page miniature pamphlet, has all of the basic information that will help you accomplish Journeyman Level 1.
I gotta stop you right there, Dr. Fox.
I dare you.
I think that 8 chock full of pages filled with words and symbols, that equates a booklet, not a pamphlet. You're getting a booklet, folks. A booklet.
Yeah, on paper. So those are.
Now, is that including the cover? Is that include the 8 pages? Is that the cover and then the rear cover?
Yes. But the 6 interior pages are chock full of nuts.
Okay. Yeah,
and I mean it. They're nuts.
Booklet might be a little much. But still.
It has to settle with a booklet. You know, somebody was like, you need to do the book. And I'm like, I don't like books. They're too wordy. But this, a booklet, is something a little bit more manageable for me.
I can't. The chair's...
But now be careful. I'm excited to see if you're going to pull off like that video I saw on Live Leak where the chair went through the guy's butt.
That happened for real?
Yeah. Totally owned that lib.
We'll never know.
People are taking their chairs, their computer chairs, and they're jumping up and down in them and they're pushing their buttholes right up against the canisters. And they're doing this to own the libs, Peas. It's why they're doing it. It's why they're sitting on loaded chairs recklessly and not exercising good pneumatic trigger discipline. Is it pneumatic or is it hydraulic? It's pneumatic,
it's the
right?
Same thing.
Are they air?
It's the same interchangeable.
No, pneumatic uses air pressure. Hydraulic would use like a fluid base.
Oh, fluid. Yeah, you're right. You fucked it up.
Yeah,
you're right. You meant hydraulic. You meant hydraulic.
Dr. Cosmac says it's pneumatic.
Where is Cosmac? Cosmac's Commandos!
He's sitting in the back of the Satellite Psychoustics Laboratory up in the East Coast, I'd imagine. I don't know. I hear Dr. Cosmac has been traveling around, but he's doing it to own the libs.
He's a traveling man. Does what he can.
Peas, I love that behind you there is a wall. Not a lot of people film right in front of their walls these days.
They use backdrops like they're in space.
It's cool because when I look into your camera, I can see a picture of me. So I don't even need the picture of me. You keep that up there. I like, and well, which way do you face when you masturbate?
Away from you.
Away from me, so I'm looking over your shoulder. You know those little Dr. Fox heads. Everywhere you put a Dr. Fox head, I can see.
No. Here's how it works. I start out, and then I look at you at first to get aroused, and then I turn the chair away, and then right when I'm about to finish, I look over my shoulder, and you've caught me. And then that's the best. You've caught me.
And the snarl on the face is, you can get half chub, and it looks like I'm excited and that I'm approving.
Now,
and then when you turn around, it's you get nothing but it's the same face, but you get disgust and disapproval.
If it's a rough day, I'll look at this picture and then I'll look at the back, and I know that I have the 4th copy of this wonderful tome of music, and that'll get me going too. So sometimes I'll put this right here and I'll look at you, but then somehow like an evil twin from another universe catches me. And I always get caught. That's the exciting thing for me.
Exactly. But just look me in the eye. That's what's important. It's okay.
No,
the Dr. Fox on there wears sunglasses.
That makes it weird.
I might be squinting. Ugh. That would make it weird.
What a great album name. I might be squinting.
I might be squinting. Is it an album?
Yeah, no, is it a band? I might be squinting.
I've been all up in arms recently. I grew like 2 extra pair of arms, and I want to use them to build a wall. I want to build a wall, Peas.
What kind of wall? Oh, I'm all for the wall. Look how it's helped us so far.
I would like a nice brick wall. I think I'd like to cast the bricks myself, and then I would like to lay them. I'd like to lay those bricks brick by brick.
You want more of a Roger Waters wall. Wall as opposed to a Donald Trump
wall. And that has like a water feature.
Say that one more time, Pease. I didn't quite get that.
It's so difficult. I said you would prefer a Roger Waters wall as opposed to a Donald Trump wall.
Thank you.
A Rogers water feature? Do you pick those up at like the Pike Nursery? Where do you go to play in the dirt again?
Very political.
We go to Pike.
I don't leave the house.
We can tell. I can tell. Look how. Yeah, I mean, you have a white wall behind you, and yet you're still glowing in front of it.
We're hunkered down here in Peasville, Nevada, and we sold the sweet van.
You sold your van?
Finance. Yep, I sold my van to finance some dental work. Well, here's what I did.
I was about to joke did you put a down payment on dentures with a van? And it sounds like you did.
Here's the thing. I kind of sort of did, but it didn't work out it wasn't supposed to work out that way. So what it was I got my government check, right? And then I said, I'll sell the van, and then I'll buy a pop-up that I can pull behind the Jeep. But the problem is everybody else now is camping because they're trying to avoid the COVID virus, which I guess doesn't camp. So as long as you're camping, you can't get it. And you should probably have a clipboard too, but that's another story. But nonetheless, so I said, you know what I'll do, because my job's up in the air right now, let me pay off my credit card and my credit line, because I could live for 6 months off of those if I had to, if my gig winds up falling through. So right after I make that huge, great, difficult decision, because I would have rather spent the money on coke and hookers, but as soon as I do that, then I got a huge couple abscesses. I got to spend $2,600 on my teeth. And then today I went back to have them do the fitting because my lower jaw was hurting. And they're like, oh yeah, well, another $1,000, we'll fix that up for you too. which I don't have anymore because I spent all my money. So I was like a thousandaire for a day, and then I was credit free for a day, and now I'm back where I started. And maybe I should get one of them pylon things in a Pesium crystal, because I could have used some luck playing tilting my way. Like I got cars that don't cost that much. But anyway,
you have multiple cars.
And my dog died. And my dog died in the middle of all this. It cost me $500 to have my dog die.
They get you at every corner, don't they, Peas?
Every corner, man.
You're
right when I was getting ahead.
You should build a wall. You should build a wall.
It's my fault, too. It's my fault, too, because when this whole COVID thing came up, I'm like, wow, I get to work from home. So that means I get to watch a lot of Kelly Lee and Ryan Seacrest show, which I enjoy. And then, Drew, the guy from Cleveland Rocks, he does a show called The Price is Right. That's pretty interesting, so I'll watch that sometimes when I'm working. But I was too confident, and I was saving money by not working, and I'd gotten a bunch of free props. So I was like, oh, this COVID thing's going to come up aces for Peas. I want to be a thousandaire where it's all done, have a pop-up trailer, travel across the country, bread and Pesium and Triology soaps wherever I go, like the Wiener Mobile for Oscar Mayer. But no. Right at the end of it, they said, here, let's take your job away when all the good benefits are gone, and let's all that money you got, let's just spend that on teeth. So you work out with nothing. I could go toothless, but Pam says I don't speak very well without my teeth in.
Oh, without them in. Because, you could go toothless already. If you've got dentures, you're kind of already going toothless. They're fedoras for the mouth. That's what they are. You can tilt. You can tip your dentures to the ladies, my lady. Click, click.
They're faux teeth.
I'm going to need to get some. I got a hole in one of mine. Front and to the right on the bottom. It's
Have you tried putting cocaine in it?
It's I think that's what was keeping it plugged up for so long. I'm not a cocaine enthusiast, but maybe you should bust back into it. You could break even on that. You could sell meth again. But then again, everybody's out of work. Everybody's out of work, but they're getting free money from the government. So you should probably just get back. Are you gonna break bad Peas? Sell some crystal Pesium?
The thing about meth heads never work anyway. They just get their money somehow.
Exactly. Why not? And it seems like everybody's getting money right now. Getting paid to stay home.
Buddy, my wife's been waiting for unemployment since March.
You have to write a letter and call. You have to call the guy and be like,
things.
I'll send you that number. You gotta call the number.
For Florida, but we're not living in Florida.
You can call the Florida number.
Can
you? Could. Yeah.
How old's your bunny?
About 4.5 years old. That's where my money sank down. I threw out a GoFundMe because I had bunny vet bills, which I haven't updated the GoFundMe page, but she had a bad eye infection. And she had
man, I didn't even see it.
I kept it. I only posted it like once. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I said if anybody can help out, I'd appreciate it. And we raised. I asked for $1,000, and I got about 700 of it. And we paid that first 1,000, and then we got 700 back from the GoFundMe. And then since then we've spent about 500 more on taking care of her. So I've seen half of your dentures in Wiffle Pig vet visits, and she's doing a lot better. But we've been giving her medicine on her eye for an ulcer that she had on her eye for about a month now. But she has a cyst on her ribs that they found. They did a test on that, And that was $300 just for it. And they told us there's a 75% chance that it's not cancerous. So there you go. $300 gets you, I'm pretty sure, at the bunny vet.
That's what they did. That's what they did to me. They took the test on the dog and said, well, it might have kidney failure. And if it does these things, and my dog had lost a lot of weight. And of course, my dog, and the test cost like $300. The next day, Sunday, my dog started doing all the things that he hadn't been doing yet, but it's like he heard him. Okay, I'm gonna start throwing up. I'm gonna start getting sick. And then Monday I had to go. And I said, I gotta put him down because he can't even barely walk. And that was another $300. And then I was gonna buy another dog right away, but
you're gonna buy a dog?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where do you buy dogs at?
I do a couple things. Like I've had German Shepherds for like the last 30 years, so I either go to a breeder or a lot of times I'll try a German Shepherd rescue first. If somebody got one that was like too much for them, they need some training. They're good dogs. They're really smart dogs. But I wanted a poodle this time because they don't shed and they're just as smart as Shepherds.
Poodles are the smartest dogs.
Yeah, that's
take
what they
care
say.
of their eyes,
between them
though.
and Border Collie.
They're so prone to eye problems. And I've known several people that have had poodles, and I know people that have had Shar-Peis or whatever. I've known what are the Shih Tzus? Those poor suffering things.
I think you'll find
fancy
that
cats
a lot
of the dog world.
A lot of poodles that have eye problems are miniatures, toys, or
yeah, it's just the really tiny ones.
Yeah. See, I was gonna get a standard poodle, and most people don't know this. A standard male poodle weighs about 70 pounds, full grown.
Yeah, they're big.
And they don't shed, which was the thing. But the problem I'm finding is there's not a lot of poodle rescues in my part of the country. And a lot of the breeders for poodles, some of them have lost their minds for what they want for a dog. You could buy a tiger for what they want for
I'm not a fan of breeders. You know, I'll stand over there.
It depends.
That's my new book with Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm not fond of breeders.
I'm not talking about like a puppy mill in Kentucky. These are like
I would hope not. I would hope that that's where you're not going to the mall where they keep animals in cages and feed them 2 or 3 times a day during a outbreak, which leaves the store closed. Probably not even feeding them 2 or 3 times. They're probably feeding them once a day, if
at
that.
Puppy stores like that.
There's a ton of them down here. They're despicable.
They'll try to charge you $1,800, $1,300 for a dog, and they'll give you all these kind of bullshit. But it's mostly mongrel dogs. And second of all, once that dog gets to be about 12 weeks old and too old to really be a cute puppy anymore, they just euthanize them. And so you buy the dog from a puppy mill when you buy it from a pet store like that. You really should, and it's not hard in this day with the internet to find a reputable dog breeder if you have a particular breed in mind.
Find somebody in a guild, you know. Find somebody with a little bit of integrity to their name, and not somebody that just ties dogs in the backyard. I've seen enough of it. I've seen people that breed animals and sell them at flea markets and things like that, and these animals are made to suffer for the sake of for profit. And our bun is a house bun. There's no cage. She gets to go all over the house. She has a litter box, and she has places where she can hide and play and run. At the former Hypercube, where we had a good backyard set up, she had a burrow. There's some videos on my Facebook of her burrowing. And there's so many people that will go get a rabbit from a pet store, basically a drugstore with animals in it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And they'll take them home. They'll just lock them in cages, and they take them out. And they just kind of torture them for half an hour and then put them back. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It's off. The other thing you have to remember.
Why don't you go rescue a greyhound? You're in Las Vegas.
Because it was just getting to that. There's a lot of times you have to take into account for dogs that have been excessively bred. Genetics of the dog, if you don't know what you're getting, you can really get yourself into a problem, especially with terriers and pit bulls and stuff. And even with poodles, because they do have some prone health issues. So, it's a thing. I'm gonna wait. I want my pop-up trailer. I would like to get another dog, but I still have my little snugglebug dog. I got my street cat that adopted us, so I'm gonna hold off for a while. But I think we should play a song.
Should play a song? Well, I'll finish up. Let's see, where do we have that? Yeah, we didn't even go through all of the Cube news.
Oh, then go finish that.
I guess, you want to throw it over to a song. I'll have to pull up a song.
Well, you could tease the rest of the news by saying, oh man, I didn't even give you the good news. I waited till after we hear this. And then people will come back. That's how radio works.
Will they? I don't know, Pease. That kind of scares me.
It is scary.
I don't know if I can trust them. I don't know if I can just let them get away with that.
I got a gold whammy bar, but no guitar.
Are you gonna smelt it down? What are you gonna?
It's real gold. It's gold colored.
It's of color.
Oh, it should be fine in the riots then.
All right, we'll hit a song, and when we come back, the rest of Cube News, and then we're getting on more show. Stay with us.
Yes, it's Super K time. Let's have some Super K fun.
You're listening to Time for the Show, broadcasting live on freethinkradio.com. We're in the middle of that Cube News, just wrapping up the last of that. See, so I'm. Do you not hear the beep boops and the cues, P's? They're there. You hear those? All the news cues?
No.
Really? That's disappointing. Everybody else can.
Because that's where I was going.
Yeah, there's a button for it, but you should be able to fix it. And that's it's not fixed because article number 1. I'm a lazy POS. I didn't finish a episode of Time for the Show for the podcast this week. I'm still very behind, and so I will put it out there that what I need help with is doing some notes. And if there are people that are willing to listen through some of these episodes, I can at least run the processing and edit the songs down. And if there's anyone that would want to help out, I will send you some of the new sticker packs, and my gratitude, and give you an editor credit. So if you're interested in helping out old Dr. Fox catch up with episodes of Time for the Show, let me know.
Stickers!
Next up, Article 2, new stickers are coming. Oh, good, you got your stickies. There's a new design
stickers
for the do not remove. You got your phone holder.
Oh, is that what it is?
The phone holders are in. Yeah, have you opened it up?
Yeah. Ooh.
Is this the unboxing? Did you get your cleaning cloth inside of it? He's checking.
Yes.
You got to unbox. Great.
Somewhere.
So yeah,
I have this in 2 spots now.
That's your Hypercube phone holder. And those are they're not on the store yet.
Latex level.
Because I'm lazy. But we do have the green stickers and the red, white, and blue stickers. I just got word have been printed and should be shipped pretty soon, and so there will be a whole new set of Don't Think stickers, and the new red, white, and blue logo is available for purchase on some of the things on the Hypercube Go merch bot. And you can get that at hypercubego.com. And it's our Zazzle store. And there are a few exclusive designs on the Zazzle store. And those things, several of those things are going on to Article 3, the prize wheel. So Hypercube Go is becoming a little bit more self-sufficient, self-sustaining as a hub for the Hypercube network. We have the Journeyman Resource Center that is now in development, and we have the Journeyman Resource Forums, which are available, as well as our active Discord server on the Hypercom, and the Subgeniuses network, where if you have a show on Freethink Radio, or if you've got anything, if you want a free blog and a Subgeniuses web email address, a webmail, if you want one of those webmail addresses, that's available, and I don't charge for it. You can get your own website, and there's tools that you can run a podcast and a blog and photo hosting. And that's it's part of what we raised funds for last year, where Hazel and Drew and Trenchy threw down on top of our already awesome Patreon supporters and kept the Hyper server up for another year. So that's there, and I appreciate that. And so because of that, it's time that Freethink Radio gets a little bit more press. And I would really like to get on promoting FTR. If you are on Facebook, which you should be, Peas, you're on Facebook, aren't you?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Well, if you did Facebook, you would know that there's a Freethink Radio fan page on Facebook.
What?
And every day that there's been a new or live show, there's been a Facebook post to remind people. What I would like people to do is to go onto these Facebook tweets and get that. Somebody's on the Hypercom in the background.
And then adjust your MySpace.
I want you to retweet those MySpaces. And if you do that throughout the month of June, today is June 1st.
I'll be impressed.
For every time you do that, if every time you share these posts, you will be entered into an ability to spin the prize wheel. And that is something that we're gonna do on the Hypercube Go YouTube page. And you'll see the wheel, you'll get to spin the wheel, and you'll win a prize. You'll win a prize from
what kind of prizes?
Hypercube Go. It's from the new sticker packs to exclusive posters to T-shirts to a copy of Minecraft. So you can come and join us on the Hypercube Worldland Minecraft servers. And to do this,
that's like EverQuest, right?
You need to share.
But not as good.
You need to share a post. I'm working on the rules. I have to follow rules because I'm giving away prizes. So don't think. Go to Facebook and start retweeting those MySpace posts. What else we got going? Working on the soap. There's a Don't Think Hypercube Trilogy soap in the works. I've been avoiding Ferg and Fenord for 3 days as I've been working in Tinkercad to design these soaps. And you're all handsome, and we're gonna make you handsome and clean, and that's Cube News. You gonna own the libs, Peas? It's time for my favorite part of the show. It's the Peas O Box, where we read letters from concerned viewers of various ages and ethnicities from across the world. Not around the globe, because it's flat. So it's across. It's easy. Every point on the planet is across from you. And these people are they're concerned, Peas. Little Billy Leroy of Tubstow, Minnesota asks, do whites in chess usually win more?
So it's funny, but in the olden days of chess is an ancient game, Billy. And you may not know this being up there in the Great White North of Minnesota, but the original pieces were red and black. And the reason for that is the red pieces always went first. And that was because fire makes smoke. So in chess, there's a definite advantage to going first. And that being said, unless you're a very good defensive player, the odds are two equal players, neither having an advantage over the other, the person that played first, which in this case would be the red players, would probably win, statistically. Now, at some point in time, as chess became more common and able to be played by people who were not kings and queens, they did not have the expensive means to make pieces red like they did in the past. So they went to cheap pieces of quartz or white stone that was very common, white sandstone. And that's how the pieces transgressed to the white pieces that are kind of known as the colors that we use today. All that being said, a slightly better player than the white player or the red player will win playing black if he's slightly better. If he's just as good or not as good as you and you don't win, well, you just didn't pony up. And what I would do is study more Southern history to see how that feels.
That'll show him. So why is the white?
Do you think
why do the whites
do you think I answered his
first?
question? Was it a good answer?
Are you
well, the whites don't
are
go
you a
first.
chess
The reds go
aficionado?
first.
The reds go first.
I was at one time as a child.
Well, why don't
okay?
Well, then why don't the blacks go first?
Because fire makes smoke. That analogy is true. That's why. And for another good reason for that is checkers never made that transition to white and black. Checkers are still traditionally red and black, as chess pieces were at one time. And to answer your question, when I was in middle school or elementary school, I was on a team of chess players that was 13th in the nation.
Who was your water boy? What was it like taking the team showers together after those matches?
No, we didn't do that, but we got in trouble one time.
The chess club got in trouble?
Yeah. Just me and one of the other guys.
Oh, just you and one other. How did you get into the chess club?
I'm very good at chess.
Yeah? What's your favorite chess piece?
I'm actually quite smart.
I like the little horse.
You know, you can't really have a favorite piece because it's the using of a combination of pieces that really exemplifies your ability to play. So you might have a particular group of pieces that you like to utilize because they're very versatile to you. But to have a favorite piece, that sounds like softball.
The little
sounds like girls.
The little castles are neat.
They're
all right,
rooks. They're called rooks.
Little Susan Polyp of Boogertown, Kentucky. Real place. I don't like the typical wedding food. I do, however, love tacos. Do you think a taco bar where guests can assemble tacos to their own liking would be a good idea?
What was the first part? Can you read the first part again?
I don't like the typical wedding food. I do, however, love tacos. Do you think a taco bar where guests can assemble tacos to their own liking would be a good idea?
At a wedding?
At a wedding.
At a wedding. I think that you possibly, with the right sort of backing, maybe a good presentation on Shark Tank, might have just come across the next salad bar. I think that this is a brilliant idea. Tacos are an enjoyable south of the border treat whenever you can get them, and to have the ability to concoct your own taco while you celebrate the nuptials of one of your dear and close personal friends and or family, I just don't know why it hasn't been done yet. I say go for it.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Dear Peas.
I like tacos.
What's your favorite taco? 2 seconds. 1 second.
Meat taco.
Dear Peas, how many pills do you take each other? I am a female, and to 20 to 30 pills each year. And that's from Sandy Gina in West Beaver, California.
Can you, I hate to ask this, but the accent is so strong. Could we read it just one more time?
How many pills do you take each other? I'm a female and 20 to 30 pills each year.
Pills. I'm going to assume that she means the sacred sacrament of PILZ, pills, provided by our Savior and the world's greatest salesman, J.R. Bob Dobbs. And I will say that as myself, even as the P's, have only had partaked of a PILZ pills 3 times in my life. Once when inspecting nuclear weapons with GGG, when I questioned why he said we had 3 when in reality we have only 2. The second time was at Stang Ranch right before the premiere of the great movie that should come out one day. And this was right before Stang chastised me for rubbing his dog's butt too vigorously. And the third time was recently, and the circumstances behind it are still being debriefed by Hypercube scientists.
We pull them right down.
Be discussed on the air at this time. So I think that's too many for a female.
And finally, gerrymander of Tennessee Williams, Colorado.
Leave it to Beaver.
Can you use, dear Peas, can you use a dildo to stimulate a butthole before a prostate exam, just so there are no surprises?
You can. And it's actually a Ukrainian tradition to find a lightly whittled birch branch where you round off the nub, and it's also customary to do this because it's polite for the doctor. He doesn't really have to work to get in there and check things out. So yes, I would, if you want to follow the cultures of Ukrainians and you identify as a Ukrainian, then I would definitely go into the woods and pick your birch tree branch, round off the end with the whittling tool of your choice, probe gently at first. When you feel you might be tearing something, you're probably ready. Clean up. go to the doctor. You should be good for that examination for about an hour and a half.
All right. I trust you, Peas. I believe you this time.
As well you should.
And we'll seal up that.
Show me what you got.
It's the wrong button. Seal up that mail bag. You did good on that one, Peas. You're saving the world.
One letter at a time.
From toast to toast. Did you give up toasting? No more toasting.
I did give up toasting.
What
it was causing the COVID-19. It was eating toast. Toasting bread was causing COVID-19. A lot of people don't know that. Isn't it funny how no one seems to give a shit about COVID-19 right now? They're all like, "Oh no, we'll be fine."
Or they're at the point where it's like, well, what else were we gonna do? You know, I guess.
I think that here's the thing: the Chinese are playing us. The Chinese gave us the COVID-19, and right when we think, and then we shut down our whole economy, right? And they're like, "Oh, phase 1 of plan worked very well," and then they get some instigators out here to start some riots, and next thing you know, we're like, "Oh, more trouble for USA." Now COVID come very strong. And all the people that would have fought the Chinese if they got here, because they're out there in the streets, they're like all gonna die. And then all it's gonna be left is like boomers and fat guys with too many guns that they can't get out of their house. Trump will still be around, and like 6 people to fight off the Chinese horde. This is all part of their great plan, and we don't even know what phase 3 is, and I'm pretty sure that's when we find out there's aliens.
Phase 3 is profit.
Phase 3, they say, "Oh, by the way, there's aliens this whole time."
You don't even want to know about phase 2. We'll hear more about it when we come back. It's your Patreon shout-outs and maybe something about soap. You're listening to Time for the Show on freethinkradio.com.
When you wake up in the morning, does your body resonate with the putrid stench of dried
bodily fluids and greasy, naturally occurring oils that leave sopping puddles of filth on your pillow and mattress? Then you can be one of a small group of people living with a condition known as stank ass. Stank ass affects lives every day, and without proper treatment, can result in lingering odors and musks trailing behind individuals living with stank ass. Finally, there is a solution. Introducing Triology Soaps, an over-the-counter remedy for stank ass. By mixing Triology soap with water and applying to the body, laboratory tests have shown that this can reduce the body's own tolerance for stank ass. Unlike other soaps that just mask odors, Triology Soap's glycerin-based slack-infused technology fights stank ass at its core. Triology Soaps has also been shown effective at fighting other organisms living on the body, and when combined with everyday hand washing, can be utilized to combat viruses like COVID-19, E. coli, and Batman fingers. Triology Soaps also makes for a good personal lubricant, and with the patented Dobbs Bar Hygiene Kit, you can rest assured your extra time in the bathroom doesn't just leave you feeling relieved, but also refreshed. If you would like to learn more and try Triology Soaps, visit TriologySoaps.com today. The only soaps approved by the Church of the Sub-Genius and appreciated by Yetis and Normals across the world. TriologySoaps.com. It's time.
You know what else, Dr. Fox?
What's that?
Well, here's the thing. I've got some Triology soaps from TriologySoaps.com, and I washed my hands at the beginning of the COVID crisis. I have not washed them since, and here I am, COVID-free. So I'm going to put forth to you that I think that just even a single application of this wonder product can prevent you for months, perhaps, getting COVID-19. Why, I might say, if you use Triology soaps, you have a very good chance of never getting COVID-19.
Come on, Peas. You mean you don't even wash your hands when you poop?
Only if you get poop on them. And these guys don't have poop on their hands.
No, I don't shit on my hands, man. I got paper and stuff. It stays on that paper.
The song's running out, Peas. I gotta do the Patreons. It's the top of the month. So I gotta say thank you to Caller23 and Aposty X Fenord and Hazel the Windmills and Doktor Cosmac and Agent Lloyd and Long Dead and Martha Artha and Reverend Negative and Reverend Guimo and Count Sloth and Scalpod and Vanessa and our sponsor Triology Soaps.
Keeps COVID-19 away.
Didn't even re-engage the hypercom. We're back. It's time for the show live on freethinkradio.com. What do you think? It's going pretty well, Peas. I'm so glad that you're gonna have so much more time to work on the show. You're gonna be able to edit and do some social media for me. It's gonna be great.
I'm not good at those things. There was none of my witty banter about the Triology soap on the air.
Yeah, it was just on the air. If it is time for the show, you're on the air. Unless I rip the jack right out.
It's pneumatic.
It's a pneumatic jack. Air jack.
The hydraulic pneumatics.
Peas, I've been following up for the past couple of weeks on the activities out in your region of the world over there, and just around the corner from you in Ballard, Utah, there's been a plethora, a urethra, a leather throng of paranormal sightings and activities in that area. So much that that are the fine fellows of science and reason at the History Channel, which who owns the History Channel? Is that Disney or is it Comcast? One of those two owns it.
Time.
Anyway, they're making they've got the Legend of Skinwalker Ranch piece has been what I've been following for the past couple of weeks, and it's the adventures of a redneck rocket scientist going out into a radioactive desert to work with a man named Dragon to uncover the mystery of Skinwalker Ranch. And you're already close enough to Area 51 where the government tries to make it look like there are extraterrestrial events going on, but we really know it's just swamp gas and air balloons. And we know that because it's right in front of you. You go see it. So that's not even the real Area 51. That's the one built to generate a distraction and to keep most people from paying attention to it. If you didn't know this, you're not aware. You've been to the real Area 51.
Here's the thing. I've been to the area that you're talking about, looking for phenomena, and every time we go out there and we look around for stuff and we talk to people. We don't see anything, but we get back home and all we hear about on the internet is that there was more sightings. So we go back and there'll be nothing for a week or two. We'll go back out there. We don't see anything. The minute we get home, they're talking about more sightings again. So we're just missing whatever's going on in that area.
But it's just a distraction either way. You know,
I don't know.
It's just lights in the sky. It's just lights
I've never seen anything. But every time I go with my Jeep, when I get home, it turns out they've seen other lights in the desert again.
Well, the stuff that I've seen on this show is what's interesting, because the idea is that you go to a place, you go to the, well, that's where the show goes. The idea is that they want to have people there all the time, and they've put up surveillance equipment, and they've brought people in to live there, and they've brought in animals, and they're watching the animals.
What kind of animals? Elephants?
They've
That's not a nice thing to call peas, Dr. Fox.
Well, he's a biosensor, and Peas, we need to take you out into the desert as a biosensor. See, the thing is, you keep leaving. You're not being consistent. What you have to do is you have to stay in the desert. If every time you're leaving, there's something that happens, then you're just going to have to stay there. And so we're going to have to fund a Hypercube research investigation where Peas is going to have to stay in the desert, basically until he sees something and he documents it, because it's working for the History Channel. They've figured it out. So now we can do it. Now Hypercube can actually set up a production, and we'll have a live 24-hour monitoring system of Peas in the desert. Now, I know you love the desert, so volunteering for this was very easy for you.
I do have a GoPro.
And we would have to document everything that you do. Everything. Because if you're already instigating that you could have an effect on it, like when you leave that they come out. So maybe there's something about you that the UFOs don't like. Maybe you're anti-UFO.
Maybe they're like, like when you see a hot girl at a bar and you're a little scared to approach her.
Hot girls do not go to bars, Peas, number one.
I'm thinking that it's kind of like that. The aliens are all ready to come, and they're like, oh, look at that. That dude is so handsome, and that's a nice Jeep. And they're like scared to come up and say hi, so they wait for us to leave, and they're like, oh yeah.
They wish they had said hi to you. They
right, and then they go back like to Luna Base 1. They're like, hey, what happened? And like, oh, dude, we saw this super cool guy in a Jeep. And did you ask him if he wanted to come up and have space beer? And they're like, no, it seemed weird. We waited till he left, and then we gutted some cows.
We wouldn't want any type of abduction to be weird.
Yeah.
But you're always expecting things.
Like, what if you got abducted and they didn't anally probe you? Would you feel like cheated?
Then you weren't.
Like,
then you weren't abducted. You were just. It was just a joyride. You were barely shanghaied.
I got Nintendo at my house. I got Nintendo in my spaceship. You want to come play?
Nintendo and all the sauce. It's a Frosty machine.
They didn't Shanghai him, but they Kuala Lumpured him. They give him his koala lumps.
What do you think aliens call their video games? I think they're the same things, like, oh, dude, you want a PS87 with us? Or do you think they have like
that
alien
PS87?
Games?
What is a PS87?
It's a PS like 4 from the future. Aliens
their virtual reality is so great
I think after
that they're
5,
actually here.
I think they're gonna.
Would they have like a?
They're gonna start doing with video game systems what they've done with movies, where they won't name it, like they won't put like a number after it. They'll just have like some weird adjective.
Give me PS Insurrection.
Yeah, exactly. Because like they used to have movies where like they'd have a new number for each movie. Like Die Hard. It was Die Hard 2 and Die Hard 3 and Die Hard 4 and Die Hard 5. And then they started giving weird names.
My Sega Obliteration.
the Independence Day movies aren't getting shown anymore. Do you know why?
Because it's not the 4th of July. It's just like you're not going to see Santa Claus Goes to Town in May. It's a seasonal film.
They don't screen, Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. And
you're not seeing Battlefield Earth anymore either, because the alien overlords are just getting ready to reveal themselves, and they don't want you watching shit like that.
Oh yeah, they're just getting ready.
They're getting ready to.
They're affixing to.
I mean, Peas, you're not even prepared.
They're in Kentucky right now.
You're not even prepared for Grodnar. What are you going to do when Grodnar, Peas?
Well, I got rid of my van, so that's going to be a problem.
There's nowhere you're going to be able to go when Grodnar, Peas. Grodnar is an ancient one, a celestial entity of pure terror and chaos that is encased inside of a massive interstellar ship that is heading here right now. And on April 13th, 2029, it's going to swing right by us. Now, our hope is that we're going to be able to utilize the Hypercube Global Pylon Array to manipulate the sub-ether network in deflecting Grodnar's wrath. And if we don't have the array up by then, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Look, we already established earlier in the show that pylons alone are not going to get this job done. We're going to need Pesium in every pylon that we put into the array. Because it's only the Pesium that gets the psychotropic stuff that you were talking about. What is it? You pronounce it so much better than I do.
Psychoustics energy?
The psychoustics energy is only harnessed in the quantum quantities that will qualify what we need if you're using Pesium in it.
Actually, there's also artifact rifts, which are much harder to come by. I believe I sent a sample of the Doktor Cosmac for study. But
how is the Foxmonia studies coming?
Which ones?
The Foxmonia.
Foxmonia.
Is that like that rainbow-colored metallic cuboid stuff?
Yeah,
it's a solvent.
That's the ones. Doktor Cosmac stuff. I've already sent him a sample of a rift artifact, and these are left over when pylons in an area are able to stabilize and close space-time distortions known as warps. And they leave these little these metallic-looking cuboid crystals behind. And by placing one of those, that's a handheld Hypercube shadow model. But that is the basic structure. That is a representation of the structure of a Pesium crystal. And Pesium crystals, we're working on mining them out. The only way we can mine them out is by erecting more pylons. So we need more pylons up. And so we're getting to the point where we're making pylons for you. So if you don't want to make one, you can just buy one, and we'll mail you a pylon, and you can put your Pesium crystal in it, and then you can buy buy a necklace, and you can put your Pesium crystal in it. And you'll walk around, people are like, "Oh, what's that? What do you got there around your neck?" And you go, "That's my Pesium crystal. It's what helps me tilt the luck plane in my favor." And they're like, "Oh, well, where do you get a Pesium crystal?" I get
my cubic pylon remnant here, and it looks like a couple of bits of it have sort of sheared off, and oh, that doesn't look good.
Maybe you've had a pylon prolapse.
Oh, I hope not. Man, that sounds really painful.
Yeah.
You ever have
what flavor are you vaping there, Fox?
Molten nickel.
Nice.
For that foundry tank.
Molten nickel from the core of the earth. We got you the hottest. I forgot what you were smoking again.
What are we smoking? What are you smoking?
Nickel something?
You're smoking cigarettes, Peas. Those are bad for you.
I know it. Look, I got a beard too.
Scub. Give me that scub.
I'd rather smoke scub than smoke clack. Clack is gross, man. You don't want to smoke that stuff.
I need to put a clack entry on the. That's K-L-A-K, right?
K-L-A-C-K.
C-K, excuse me. I was going with the German clack.
I think you can smoke whatever you want as long as you're not a full smoker.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. I can smoke whatever you give me.
All right.
That's my job. I'm a scientist. And we're running a great experiment. And I'm rather hospitable about the experiments too. If you give me the drugs, I'll let you watch me take them. It's a lot of fun for everybody. It's educational.
I'm out of drugs and problems and stuff. It's terrible.
You got problems, Peas?
No, they're all gone. They're all used up.
Yeah,
and
so you've got problems, crisis. Like Dr. Fox said.
Yeah, and in this time of crisis, there's no problems that are going to solve my problem of not having problems.
All right.
It seems to me like your problems are just beginning, Peace.
I know what'll take your mind off of it, and it's my favorite part of the show.
Show me what you got.
Proving grounds. We're going to go through the headlines, Peas, and even Dr. Cosmac here, because he's stuck in here with us.
If I can think of anything, I don't.
Exactly. Well, don't think.
Just the worst, the hardest.
Don't think. We'll go through a couple of our headlines, and then we'll head off to our song break. Wife of accused ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin says in divorce filing she wants to change her name.
You can only buy a wife for $10,000 and expect her to stand by you for so long.
She wants to change her name to Derek Chauvin.
And I'm giving a toot to Peas because if you see this picture of her, it does totally look like he totally bought this wife.
It looks like Peas?
She wants to go back to something harder to say. Bought that wife. All right, let's go back down here. And Peas, what does Blackout Tuesday actually mean for the music industry?
Rodney King's hit new album is ready to hit the charts.
Ooh. Very good, Peas. Toot toot. All right. Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard postponed summer stadium tour to 2021.
They're still touring?
I was about to say postponed to make sure that everybody knows that they're still touring. Lady Gaga's Chromatica is a collection of sad
go
bangers.
back.
Oh, wait.
No, go back.
Go back?
Okay. Ticket on sale Saturday. It's one fat guy. I got it.
Apple Mac OS 10.15.5 release. MacBook's scary surprise.
Now with penis vision.
Is it like you open it up and a snake pops out?
If you
like one of those novelty cans of peanuts or whatever.
It opens up and says, "Congratulations, you get to buy the next MacBook."
Suckers.
Facial recognition no longer works. They use genital recognition.
Genital recognition.
You have to hold the Mac. You have to hold the Mac to your crotch to get into it.
You have to gently teabag your Macintosh.
You have to get an Apple table to put it on, and it costs $10,000. But it's a really good table.
And 3 years later, the cords don't work on it anymore.
You have to sign up for the Apple Satellite Power Service. NASA's Dragon Riders capture the flag 9 years after it was left on the space station. Scientists in Houston continue longest game of Red Rover since Apollo mission. I give myself a toot for that one.
That's good. That's good, Dr. Fox.
Thank you.
Like Lost, huh? And there's so much potential with the dragon thing, and I was gonna try and do like a never-ending story, but my mind just went blank because there's a dragon in never-ending story.
I don't see why we were putting Canadians into space. I thought it was like an American thing, but they kept talking about putting Bob and Doug up there.
No.
The best movie ever. It's the only movie where the premise of the entire movie is two guys getting shit-faced drunk and driving around in their van.
Well, I thought that was also the premise of this mission, right?
Yeah, it's all part of that new Tom Cruise movie that we don't
Mission.
They actually had Tom Cruise locked in the cargo bay, and now he's out there filming Mission Impossible 12. It's gonna. I'm really excited for
that
he's gonna
programmed to do everything. And they didn't even give him Tetris to play. I'm sorry.
They got all those touch screens and no Tetris. Did you see that they designed the interface of the cockpit to look like fucking Call of Duty with like the animated? It's like oh my god.
Is it?
It's ridiculous.
It seemed a little too slick for cockpit instrumentation to me, but
don't you think if something goes bad on the re-entry of Earth, you want to have more control than fuck? It's not recognizing my touch print. God damn it! I want flips. I want switches. I want some analog shit.
Coming back down, I don't think would be that hard. I think the going up would be that hard.
Even in the old days, P's, all those analog controls were just telling a computer somewhere what to do. Even on Apollo, so what the fuck?
How much of what happened with the flight was done by the people on the ship at all? Because ideally, I would imagine sending crews.
Absolutely none is all programmed. They sat there.
Yep. Or if anybody is doing it live, they were down on the ground.
No,
there's no. It's all autonomous, Dr. Fox, the Dragon. If that's
the minute that thing took off.
So the instrumentation is just. That's pretty much it's just visuals anyway.
That's why they should have had a Tetris they could have played. Yeah. They should have had Tetris or Angry Birds, something.
Try to get a high score on the way up there.
The instrumentation doesn't actually do anything.
I wonder if on the way up,
psychological reasons, so they can feel like they could do something, but actually none of those buttons or knobs works or does anything.
But wouldn't
it's like a big baby's toy, you know? It's like one of those baby's toys where you've got the you've got the wheel that rattles and the button.
People like Tom Cruise want to go up there, that's how you have to design it. You have to set it up like
here's the thing.
Set it up like a Disney World.
I wonder if they got like a NASA app store while you're in flight. You can go to the NASA app store.
The SpaceX app store. Remember, this is the first commercial flight.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that this
get
was
a little picture, little animated.
I want to know why they didn't get to the launch pad. I know they put him in a Tesla car, but why wasn't the car in a little tunnel? They needed to make a little tunnel going out to the launch pad from where they get out of the prep room or whatever.
Fuck that! They need one of them tube things that just shoots you right into the capsule.
Pete, they have to have the Tesla. It's the Hyperloop. It's their Tesla SUV.
That's the idea, is that your Tesla will drive in. Your Tesla, because we're all gonna have one. And your Tesla is gonna drive into the rocket, and the rocket's gonna be synced up to be lined up. It is like you only need 30 minutes. And so you're gonna get into you're gonna get on the phone,
exactly like that,
and you're gonna hit a button. And this car is going to come up to you, and you're going to get in this car with no driver, and it's going to take you down to an airport that's been reconfigured, and it's going to load into a rocket, and that rocket's going to load up and fire you off into space within an hour. And within a day, you're going to be set up, and your Tesla is going to have it's going to have a mini bar where you can get a $20 Snickers.
Stop it. You're getting me hard.
And it's going to dock. You're going to dock with the SpaceX hotel in suborbital space that's constantly knocking communication satellites out of the way and down onto indigenous peoples in northern Australia. And you're going to stay up there for a bargain. And you're going to get to use SpaceX satellite internet while you're up there. So you can do your zero-G dick pics and Instagram them back down to all the plebes on the surface. And that's it. That's the future. That's the future. That is legitimately the future. Are you ready for suborbitals?
I'm excited.
Or you're ready for the zero-G? Free the dick.
Are you ready for pseudo space travel? you're just really high. You're not really doing anything.
They just spray like LSD into your face.
If we stopped pushing this thing up, it would crash to the earth in a week.
Would it?
I think it would take longer than that, Pease.
It's barely orbital, dude.
It's
They're still using a little bit of the Earth to protect them from the ultraviolet radiation that the sun exudes.
I understand that, Pease, but I think it would take longer than a week for the orbit to decay.
8 days.
Where did you get that number, Pease? I question the veracity of these figures.
I did some research and saw some YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
So I want you to just think about that for a while.
I follow Pease on LiveLeak. You're listening to Infowars.com. We'll be right back with Free Think Radio after this. Woohoo!
Washing your hands is for plebe. Smoking a spliff the whole time.
Well, he was. Whenever he's not on screen, he's had a hiding around the corner, just token.
That's why he's always fucking everything up, because he's stoned.
Completely stoned the whole movie, yeah.
The entire movie. And if people had realized that, they would have understood the brilliance of Jar Jar Binks.
But Jar Jar, he's also like a Jesus kind of character, because he gets killed and saves everyone.
Nailed to a tree. Nailed to a floating space tree.
He dies? Jar Jar dies?
The sacrifice of Jar
Anakin
Jar
cuts his head off, right?
Does he?
You don't remember that?
Impales him.
First 3 movies were so bad. Did people clap when he dies in the theater? Yay!
Well,
you'd have to go to the theater to watch a Star Wars movie to find that out.
Now, I'm sure that you've never done that in your lifetime.
I've gone to Star Wars movies, but
in a theater.
I remember when they did
in a theater
the special edition releases in the 90s.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I went to go see them or not. I know I saw
just
you would have had to. It's the law.
That's one everybody wanted.
You would have had to go. It's the law.
There was I know I saw episode 1 in theaters. I don't know
episode.
if I saw episode 2 in theaters. I know I saw episode 3 in a theater. And I remember getting to the end of episode 3 and being completely dissatisfied with it. And it's just this giant gap, that gets filled in, and then somebody else does a Star Wars
50 minutes at the very end of the movie.
They do Rogue One, which was the best Star Wars since Star Wars. The good, the good Star Wars, that first one that they made, that one's pretty good, all on its own. And then they made one more after
they're
that.
All garbage.
They made one more after that.
Garbage.
And after that, no, I like the first 2. And I liked Rogue One. I thought it was really well done, in a lot of regards. I thought it was a very well done movie. There's characters that
it's fucking Disney. They're gonna look great, but they're shit, dude. It's corporate trash. It's garbage.
Most is
fucking garbage.
I mean, we didn't even finish watching Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mandalorian's the best Star Wars ever made.
Bill Burr's in it.
That's almost like a phone prank name.
Mandalorian.
Amanda Huggins. Mandalorian. I don't know.
That's the show that
Pete's busy spot. How can I help you? It's Pete.
That's the Unreal Engine TV show.
Can you see if the Mandalorian's there?
John DeLorean.
Hey! Listen up, Mandalorian. You got a phone call.
So
no, there's no kid. There's no Mandalorian here.
John C. DeLorean's smarter sister.
Did you come up with some stories for me, Pease?
Man, I kind of didn't.
Kind of didn't. Well, at least
kind of didn't. I have stories, but I can't come up with a good lie.
Couldn't come up. Not a good liar today, Pease.
No.
Because you did pretty good. You did pretty good on proving grounds today. You got a couple points on that. So you can make up for that. Because at least you did well there. And you answered more on you need to have one for next week. That's your homework. Is to have is to lie. That's the audience, the society has homework, and you have homework, and I have homework. And I won't spend the rest of the week playing Doom and Minecraft. I kind of promise. I'll probably spend most of the week.
Isn't Minecraft basically
so much
EverQuest, but not without the good graphics?
What?
EverQuest?
I don't know what that is.
Did you have your monthly subscription back when you? Well, I mean, you're still on DSL over there, so I guess EverQuest is kind of your domain, right? What level in class are you in EverQuest?
I was what was I?
How much RuneScape did you play, Pease?
I was a 47. I never played RuneScape. I think I was a level 47 Ranger.
They don't have Rangers in EverQuest. Oh, yeah, I called you out.
Yeah, they do.
I called you out. I got you.
Maybe I was a Paladin. I might have been Paladin.
You were a RuneScaper. Please tell me more about how your cameo in the upcoming sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, Part 2, Sonic Vengeance.
It's funny because, as you know, I've not appeared in that movie, and the director told me that my acting was the best he'd never seen.
That's deep.
When you look into the eyes of Peter Dinklage, when you're not casting your already insipid gaze down upon him like a victim as he's wearing the Sonic the Hedgehog costume that will later then be motion capped in, do you feel an emotional bond with him? Is that difficult, or do you try to?
Here's the thing.
Or do you feel like you're actually bonding with the character?
If you haven't performed with Peter, this will be hard for you to understand. But you can ask anyone who's ever performed with Peter. His presence is so tall that you do look him in the eye, and you see a giant before you in the presence that he projects through the muse that he calls forth from his bard. So to say that I look down on Peter while I do my lines is really not true. When I wasn't acting in that scene that I didn't appear in, I felt he was taller than I was. And everyone who was there on the set agreed that they couldn't tell any difference from the two of us because I wasn't there to begin with.
Is it true that you're descended from the little people of Ireland? That you have leprechaun blood?
We prefer the term midget.
That's their word. They can say that. The M word.
God, I'm going to get letters.
I
will not get letters for anything I've ever said on this show, but I bet you I get letters from that.
You just
Some
got
little
goofy
fucker's
shit
gonna be all
mail,
pissed
that's
off.
All.
He's gonna put his Apple crate right up next to his computer desk and stomp up on it and handwrite a little letter in his little tiny scrawled hand, and it's looked like an elf probably wrote it, I would think, and mail it off to me to 6428 Dobie Peak Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada 89108.
89108. P's Hypercube Studios is going to get in on the not just the trend, but the wagon of adapting video games into movies.
Or into real life.
We'll get there too. We're actually constructing a real life Cinestar that will chase you indefinitely, you coward.
It's terrifying.
But Peas, what video game do you believe Hypercube Studios should get the movie rights to?
Zaxxon.
Zaxxon?
Well, thanks to the drone technology, we'll be able to film everything at a 45-degree angle. We'll be able to be the world's first isometric movie.
Yeah.
You know what else would be a good one, but I think they probably already did it, was Defender. I think they already made a movie about Defender.
You're right, Peas, they did.
Battlefield Earth.
No, I think there's actually
there's a real
movie.
Game called... There's a real movie based on Defender, I think.
Wait, what? As in, shoot down the abducting UFOs and dodge missiles and use smart bombs and hyperspace jumps Defender? Like Midway Defender?
Yeah, I think so. It's an old scrolling game. They had another game that was exactly like it, but it was a helicopter. But yeah, Defender was a hot game at one time, dude. Oh my god,
that is my dad's favorite arcade game. I've looked in.
Is it really?
I've looked into getting him a genuine Defender game for a while. Getting a place to put it at his house would be hard. My younger brother made an effort of getting one of these 1-up arcade machines, these mini coin-op games, and I have to say I don't recommend them. They're not good.
Yeah.
They're cheap. And it has Defender on it, but the controller layout is for Rampage. And I think it is it's got Rampage, and it's got Gauntlet, and it's got Defender on it, which is a weird combination of games.
Yeah, especially because the controls are different for all three games.
But you could make it through Rampage and Gauntlet with the way that it's set up, either way. But you can't play Defender on it. It's nearly impossible because you're used to having the buttons in a different place.
Yeah, and that's super important if you're a hardcore Defender aficionado, like I'm sure your father must be.
Very much so. We used to go get chicken wings and play video games at the Foul Play Cafe up in North Georgia. And he'd play Defender, and I'd play Galaga. And Galaga was what I would play all the time when I'd spend a lot of weekends with my grandmother. And you'd go to the laundromat, and you play Galaga. You get a fistful of quarters, you play some Galaga. And I've owned several incarnations of the home game of Galaga. I have one for my Atari 7800, which is a great version of Galaga, in color with sound, with I think it's 8-bit sound, and it's great. I have it hooked up to the CRT over there. So yeah, I like my video games, but I like old video games a lot. I don't play a lot of the new ones. So I think for who are we going to cast as the pilot of is Zaxxon the ship, or is because Galaga is the name of the ship in Galaga. Is Zaxxon the name of the ship in Zaxxon, or is Zaxxon like?
I think that's
the end goal.
I think Zaxxon is the base that you're actually attacking.
You're attacking Zaxxon.
Yeah. If I'm
you're wrong. You're both wrong.
I'm wrong. Yeah.
It's a robot.
Okay.
It's one of the bosses. It's called Zaxxon.
Like an alien robot?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Zaxxon, Zaxxon was the name of the...
You gotta dive under this bridge and then over this other thing, and then I remember that guy. It was hard to get to.
UFO Phil. Did you ever hear of this guy years ago?
UFO Tofu?
UFO Phil. And he claimed that he was in contact with a psychic alien named Zaxxon, and UFO Phil for years was getting petitions and raising awareness, alien awareness, and was trying to, I forget where Pikes Peak is, but he was told that he was instructed by aliens
in Colorado.
To level.
It's in the mountain.
To level Pikes Peak into a landing pad for a flying saucer.
Yeah, they really don't like uphill auto racing. Those aliens.
They're so above it. They're so above it.
Yeah, they don't care about the kind of lowbrow stuff.
But there's don't forget UFO Phil. We should get UFO Phil on the show, and Pease, that could be your star interview. We'll get
there's
on that.
Too many shows
bring on UFO
How
Phil.
many of these new shows are good? Like, how many of these new shows are good?
Which shows? Time for the shows? This show?
Yeah, the other shows. This show's obviously the show that people strive to be, but how many shows besides our show are close to that?
Baseline. We're not the best, but we're the standard by which the others are judged.
Yeah, we're not
so I'm like...
We're more of the Glenn Beck, not the Rush Limbaugh of the network.
Because we had other shows on the network before. We had Share a Slice, and we had like some other show, and they come and go. So, like, it seems like there's a lot of shows. How many shows are gonna last? What shows you like?
Did you listen to last night's What the Fuck Did I Just Show?
No, I don't listen to any other shows.
You don't listen to any other shows?
Well, there you go, Pease.
See, you're missing out.
You just answered your own.
No, I'm not.
Answered your
I
own
have
question.
to stay. I can't listen to
You
those
haven't
shows
heard Drunken and Dragons on Negative at Night? Thursday nights on Free Think Radio?
Now, I could probably go on as a guest to these shows, but I can't listen to them because they would affect my show, and this is the cream of the freethinkradio.com radio show.
You just got back. Huh? You were out in the desert last week, stroking desert chickens.
Oh yeah, it was in Zion. I forgot it was Monday.
You forgot it was Monday.
And I went to Utah. I'm sorry, dude.
You went to, and you didn't even go to Ballard, did you? You didn't even go to Ballard.
Everything was kind of close. I just drove through Route 9 to the tunnel.
Left me
I didn't
hanging.
get out of my car.
I texted him. I texted Pease. I said, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And then around midnight, I got a text that said, I'm in Zion." So I assumed that he had been either abducted by Jehovah's Witnesses.
Finally made it to the promised land.
Yeah. How was Moses?
I was helping Neo.
Pease?
I was helping Neo.
What, like Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, he's my friend. I met him in a bar once.
I don't believe you, Pease.
It's true.
Save it.
That's the problem. That's a true story too.
Oh, you shouldn't have told us that. You could have saved it for the show next week. Yeah. But you know what? You know what you could do, Pease?
What?
You could start apologizing.
All right, I'm gonna apologize. Then my belly's hungry, so I want to eat. I'm sorry I usually eat before the show, but this time I was so excited to show that I forgot to eat. I had some bites during show, but it wasn't really satisfying as such. So this is a good show. I apologize for all the other shows that might not be as good as the show that you're trying out because, this show's so good, let me listen to this other show. And if that show's not as good, I'm sorry. If it's better, fuck those people. But that's probably not very likely. I'm sorry that I missed the last couple of weeks of the show because I was in Zion fighting the machine with Neo and Spock. And
are you sure you don't have any problems, Pease?
I don't have any problems. And then the week before, I was super distraught because I had to put my dog down, and I just couldn't do it. And I know Fox, being an animal lover, was probably a little annoyed with me that week, but I also know he understood because he's an animal lover himself. I'm sorry that everyone was so excited to watch these two guys go up in basically what was a super elaborate space mountain ride. Yeah, Bob and Doug. Like, they didn't do anything. Matter of fact, they had so little to do, they brought a little child's... and I don't like how they're calling this a dinosaur. This is a sequined and bedazzled monstrosity. And for them to think that it's an Allosaurus is ridiculous. Nonetheless, fuck them guys. This is the thing. You should have a stick or something, even if it doesn't do anything, just for camera. It would look good if you had a stick and you moved it around when we saw you in the cockpit. So I'm sorry that we didn't have a stick. You didn't have one guy in the billions of dollars that you spent. You didn't have one guy that said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they had like a stick? Even if it didn't do anything, wouldn't it be cool on camera? No. So, fuck you. I'm sorry that everybody's rioting and being upset. It's a terrible crisis in the country. It's bad unless writing's your thing, and then I guess this is like prime time for you. This is what you've been waiting for. So I don't want to judge. I'm not for it, but if like this is rioting season and you've been waiting for it, I guess have fun. You know, I don't get it, but yeah, sure. You know, festival.
What was that you were just saying about dinosaurs?
They took up this little, like if you bought a little girl a dinosaur, it would have sequins and beads and shit on it, and that's what they brought up. Like, oh, and then they call it a stowaway. Like, oh yeah, we snuck this on. They know every goddamn ounce that's on that. Oh, look, we snuck a dinosaur on, and we're spiraling into the sun because they didn't account for it.
I think that's what they call a zero-G indicator, right?
Yeah, it's traditional.
Yeah, it's like a long-standing tradition among astronauts.
I'm sorry that I'm a little tired, but this will be one of the last weeks that I'll have my real teeth in my mouth and not some dentured teeth. And with that being said, it's time to give the final sorry for the show and what we're all sorry for. And regardless of how much Pease apologizes, at the end of every apologizing that takes place, we all feel a little sadness because we know it means the time for the show is over for another week. And I'm sorry about that, folks. We'll see you next week on Time for the Show.
You can.
Best show on Free Think Video.
Don't about the soaps.
No, we did a soap commercial already. I had that copy all ready to read too, and you went right into it, and I was like, well, fuck. I'll do my hand washing.
Got used to it. I got used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Jumped right into it. Yeah. Well, I had it on my feed ready to go.
Well, go get your foodie snackies and come back and do post show.
All right, we'll see.
All right, you're listening to Time for the Show on Free Think Radio.
Maybe we'll stop at McDonald's.
You can subscribe to Time for the Show at timefortheshow.com. Visit hypercubego.com for all of that snazzy Hypercube merch, including Time for the Show stickers that you know you want. Make sure to go to the Facebook, the Free Think Radio fan page, and share the posts. And as you do, you will earn chances to spin the prize wheel. It's a wheel with prizes on it. Good for you. And we'll see you next week. Thanks to Free Think Radio. Thank you. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. And we'll catch you next week. Hypercube, go!
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.